I want to see my friend. Hi. Hi. It's my he's my friend. He's really my friend. He's pretending, but that's my friend.
Hi, my name is Slim Shady. That iconic line launched a hip-hop revolution, fueled by Dr. Dre and Eminem's unshakable bond. One was a West Coast legend, the other a Detroit underdog with nothing but bars and pain. Together, they changed hip-hop forever. Welcome to Celeb Love. Let's dive in. The spark of discovery. In 1997, Marshall Mathers, just 25, broke and raising his daughter Haley in a Detroit trailer park, stepped onto the rap Olympic stage. His rhymes were ferocious, packed with pain and wit, but the crowd didn't know his name. He took second place, but that night, he wasn't thinking about trophies. He was thinking about survival. Across the country, Dr. Dre, the mastermind behind NWA and The Chronic, was at a crossroads. His new label, Aftermath Entertainment, was struggling to find its footing after a string of flops. He needed a spark, something real. Then fate struck. An Interscope intern slipped Jimmy Iovine, the label's co-founder, a cassette labeled Slim Shady EP. Iovine, in turn, passed the tape to Dre. Dre, skeptical but curious, popped it into his car stereo. What he heard stopped him dead. In HBO's The Defiant Ones, Dre recalled thinking, "What the hell is this?" Eminem's voice, gritty, unpolished, and dripping with urgency, was unlike anything in hip-hop. Dre didn't know Marshall was white, and he didn't care. All he heard was hunger and undeniable talent. Jimmy Iovine saw the potential and pushed Dre to meet this kid. When Eminem flew to LA, he showed up in a blinding yellow sweatsuit, hoodie, and pants. Dre laughed in a 2017 interview, saying it was like the sun walked into the room. But the joke stopped when Eminem stepped to the mic. In one session, they recorded My Name Is and Guilty Conscience. The chemistry was electric. Dre knew he wasn't just signing a rapper, he was betting on a revolution. But what made Dre take such a massive risk on an unknown? And how did that first meeting almost never happen? You won't believe what went down behind the scenes. Breaking barriers with the Slim Shady LP. In February 1999, the Slim Shady LP hit like a tidal wave. With Dre behind the boards, the album sold over 5 million copies, went 5 times platinum, and earned a Grammy nod. But it wasn't just sales, it was a seismic shift. Eminem's storytelling, laced with dark humor and brutal honesty, meshed perfectly with Dre's crisp, funky production. Tracks like Guilty Conscience showcased their dynamic.
How could you take advantage of her? She's passed out.
It's easy. Just cut these lights out. That's how.
Dre's calm, commanding voice playing foil to Eminem's chaotic Slim Shady alter ego. It was like watching two master painters share a canvas. But success came with shadows. Hip-hop in the 90s was a black-dominated space, and Eminem's arrival as a white rapper raised eyebrows. Dre faced a lot of heat from his own circle. In The Defiant Ones, he revealed, "Some people didn't want me to work with him because he was white. I said, listen to the music." Dre's defiance wasn't just professional, it was personal. He saw Marshall struggle, his fight to prove himself, and he wasn't about to let prejudice kill talent. Eminem felt the weight and acknowledged Dre's support too. In a 1999 Rolling Stone interview, he said, "Dre believed in me when I was nothing. I'll never forget that." Dre became more than a producer. He was a mentor, shielding Eminem from the storm of controversy over his provocative lyrics. When critics attacked songs like 97 Bonnie and Clyde, Dre stood firm, telling The Source in 2000, "Marshall's telling the truth. That's what art does." Their bond grew close in those early days. Eminem wasn't just a kid in awe of Dre. He was a student soaking up game. Dre taught him how to structure songs, how to make beats hit harder. In return, Eminem brought a relentless work ethic, sometimes recording until dawn. It was a partnership built on mutual respect, but it wasn't without tension. So, how did they navigate the backlash, and what secret pact kept their friendship unbreakable? Building an empire. The 2000s were a wildfire for Dre and Eminem. The Marshall Mathers LP in 2000 sold 21 million copies worldwide, earning a diamond certification and a Grammy. The Eminem Show in 2002 followed suit, with hits like Without Me and Lose Yourself. Dre's production gave Eminem's raw emotion a polished edge, while Eminem's pen pushed Dre to new creative heights. Their track Forgot About Dre was a statement.
Motherfuckers act like they forgot about Dre. If it was up to me, you motherfuckers stop coming up to me with your hands out looking.
Eminem's verse, ghost-written for Dre, reminded the world who built hip-hop's foundation. In a 2017 Genius interview, Eminem admitted, "Writing for Dre was an honor. I wanted to make him proud." Their friendship spilled beyond music. When Eminem launched Shady Records in 1999, he pitched Dre on signing his Detroit crew, D12. Dre declined, wary of group dynamics, but Eminem didn't sulk. He built D12 himself, proving his hustle. That mutual respect defined them. No grudges, no egos, just trust. Then came 50 Cent. In 2002, Eminem found a mixtape from the New York rapper, who'd been blacklisted after surviving a shooting. Eminem saw a diamond in the rough and begged Dre to sign him. Dre hesitated. 50's baggage was heavy, but Eminem's passion won out. They inked 50 to Aftermath and Shady, and in 2003, Get Rich or Die Tryin' dropped, selling 12 million copies.
When you come from New York, I'm a hustler, I just hustle when the things that I bought separate. Come on.
Dre's beats on In Da Club and Eminem's cosign made 50 a star. That move helped set the stage for an empire. The empire that launched Kendrick Lamar, The Game, and Anderson .Paak through Aftermath's doors. But their empire wasn't all glitz. Eminem's fame brought lawsuits, protests, and scrutiny, while Dre faced pressure to keep Aftermath afloat. Through it all, they had each other's backs, sharing late-night calls about music and life. In a 2024 SiriusXM interview, Dre said, "Marshall's like my brother. We don't always agree, but we always got love." But what happens when the spotlight fades and the darkness creeps in? Facing darkness together. By 2006, Eminem was unraveling. The murder of his best friend Proof shattered him, fueling a spiral into substance abuse. In 2007, he overdosed on methadone, nearly dying. Doctors told him he was hours from the end. As he fought through rehab, Dre was there, not as a producer, but as a friend. In a 2009 Vibe interview, Eminem said, "Dre called me every week in rehab. He didn't let me feel alone." Dre wasn't untouched by pain either. In 2008, his son, Andre Young Jr., died at 20 from an overdose. The loss crushed him. Eminem, fresh out of rehab, showed up for Dre, offering quiet support. They didn't need words. They'd both stared down the same demons. That shared grief forged something deeper than music ever could. Their 2011 song, I Need a Doctor, laid it bare. Dre's verse revisits their first meeting, while Eminem's was a raw plea. I don't want to lose you, Dre. The track hit number 4 on the Billboard Hot 100, but its real weight was personal. Eminem told Billboard in 2011, "That song was me saying Dre's my family. I owe him my life." The video, showing Dre in a coma and Eminem screaming for him, wasn't just art. It was their truth. Eminem's 2009 album Relapse, produced entirely by Dre, marked his comeback. Critics were mixed, but Dre didn't care about perfection. He cared about Marshall. In a 2010 Complex interview, Dre said, "I just wanted him to rap again, to live again." Their bond wasn't about hits, it was about survival. But could they rebuild after so much loss? And what moment sealed their legacy forever? Legacy and loyalty. Fast forward to February 13, 2022, SoFi Stadium, Super Bowl 56. Dre and Eminem headline with Snoop Dogg, 50 Cent, Mary J. Blige, and Kendrick Lamar. 120 million viewers watched them reclaim hip-hop's throne. Lose Yourself and Forgot About Dre echoed through the stadium, and the show later won an Emmy. That November, Dre inducted Eminem into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. His speech was heartfelt. Marshall's gifts were undeniable from day one. He's the best MC ever, Eminem, visibly moved, said. Dre's the reason I'm here, period. Beyond the awards, that moment was about two friends honoring their journey. In March 2024, Eminem stood at Dre's Hollywood Walk of Fame ceremony, alongside Snoop and 50 Cent. Dre's speech thanked Marshall, calling him a genius who changed the game. Days later, Eminem's single Houdini dropped, with Dre cameoing in the video as a time-traveling villain. At 52 and 60, they're still having fun, still pushing boundaries, but their legacy goes beyond music. Dre built the Beats by Dre empire, which sold for $3 billion in 2014, thanks in part to Eminem, who wore the prototype headphones in his early videos, giving them major exposure. Meanwhile, Eminem's Shady Records still thrives, carrying Dre's influence at its core. Together, they've shaped hip-hop sound and soul. So what's next for these legends? And while they've told us almost everything, maybe that one story, the day Dre almost didn't take the call, is one they'll keep between them. Why their friendship matters. Why does Dr. Dre and Eminem's friendship hit so hard? It's not the 50 million records sold or the shelves of Grammys. It's the story of two outsiders who refuse to quit. Dre, a black producer fighting to redefine hip-hop after NWA took a chance on Marshall, a white rapper the industry laughed at. Together, they silenced doubters, proving talent sees no color, no limits. Their bond endured because it was real. Dre gambled his reputation on Eminem in 1997. Eminem repaid it by ghostwriting for Dre, hyping his comeback, and never forgetting who gave him a shot. When fame tried to break them, through addiction, loss, or hate, they held tight. As Dre told SiriusXM in 2024, M's mind is a weapon, but his heart? That's what makes him family. They're not perfect. They've clashed, argued over beats, and pushed each other to be better. But that's what brothers do. From a kid with a demo to a global icon, Eminem never stopped calling Dre his mentor. And from pioneer to hip-hop billionaire, Dre never stopped calling Eminem his spark. Dr. Dre and Eminem didn't just make music. They built a legacy of loyalty. Their friendship reminds us that greatness isn't about where you start, but who's by your side when the world tests you. What's your favorite Dre and Eminem moment? Drop your favorite Dre and M moment in the comments. Was it Forgot About Dre, the Super Bowl, or something deeper? And if you're all about legendary friendships and hip-hop icons, subscribe to Celeb Love and ride with us.